Are you feeling that pressure to constantly create fresh, high-quality content? I mean, who isn't? You're definitely not alone. But what if you could refresh, rephrase, and just multiply your output without having to start from that dreaded blank page every single time? Okay, let's dive into the world of AI writing and rewriting tools. They might just be your new secret weapon in the content game. So here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. First, we'll talk about why these tools are absolutely booming right now. Then we'll get clear on the key differences between them. After that, I'm going to give you a framework for picking the right tool for you. We'll have a little showdown of the top players, and then we'll wrap it all up with a really important piece: how to use them responsibly. All right, so why is everybody suddenly talking about AI rewriters? Well, it's pretty simple. The demand for content has never, ever been higher, and these tools offer a really powerful way to keep up without completely burning out. Let's take a look at the numbers, because they're pretty staggering. The scale of this shift is just massive. The global AI writing assistant market is on track to blow past $6 billion by 2026. This isn't just some niche trend, folks. It's a fundamental change in how we create stuff. Now, what's really interesting here is what this means for your actual schedule. Content marketers are saying they save an average of 3 to 5 hours every single week on tasks like editing and rephrasing. I mean, just imagine getting half a workday back every week. What would you do at that time? And it's not just for marketers either. Over 60% of SEO professionals now use at least one AI rewriting tool in their regular workflow. These tools have gone from being kind of experimental gadgets to what is now industry standard equipment. Okay, so before you can even think about picking the right tool, you've got to speak the language. The terms writer and rewriter get thrown around a lot, but they mean very, very different things. Let's get crystal clear on what we're talking about. So here's the key distinction, right? Rewriting tools are not about creating something out of thin air. They take your existing text, maybe an old blog post, a formal report, even a rough draft from another AI, and they elevate it. Think of them as amplifiers, not just generators. This table breaks it down really nicely. Rewording, that's just surface level stuff, swapping out a few words with synonyms. Paraphrasing goes a little deeper. It changes the sentence structure. But true rewriting, that's the whole shebang. It's about transforming the entire document, its flow, its tone, its very bones. And understanding which level you need is going to help you pick the right tool for the job. Okay, now that we know the landscape, how do you actually choose? Instead of just giving you a list of tools, I'm going to give you a framework. Think of this as your personal checklist to evaluate any tool you come across. Here it is. First up, scope. Are you just tweaking sentences, or are you overhauling entire articles? Second, tone control. How much flexibility do you need? Just simple formal/casual, or do you need a custom brand voice? Third, does it integrate with your current tools, like Google Docs? Also, think about your output volume and definitely test the free tier. And most importantly, check for semantic fidelity. Does it change what you actually meant to say? Because if it does that, nothing else matters. All right, let's put that framework to the test. It's time for the showdown, where we match the best tools on the market to the specific job you need to get done. First up, this one's for those of you who want a true co-pilot. This category is for writers who want AI to work seamlessly right inside the tools they already use, making their own writing better without ever breaking their flow. And here we have two heavyweights. Think of Grammarly as the ultimate integrated editor. It just lives inside your documents, offering smart, pretty conservative suggestions to improve your text. WordTune, on the other hand, is more like your creative partner for when you're stuck on a single sentence. It doesn't just fix it. It gives you this whole menu of creative alternatives to choose from. So think Grammarly for polishing and WordTune for brainstorming. Okay, let's switch gears completely and look at tools built for a very different goal: ranking on Google. This is for the content marketers and SEOs out there who need to refresh old articles and produce a high volume of content that's designed to perform in search. In this ring, WriteSonic is really the value champion. It's fantastic for rewriting entire articles at a super affordable price, which makes it a go-to for high-volume production. Surfer SEO, however, that's the premium choice. It's not just a rewriter, it's a complete optimization suite that gives you real-time feedback to make sure your article is perfectly tuned to rank. Now for one of the biggest challenges that marketing teams face: consistency. I mean, how do you make sure that every single piece of content, no matter who writes it, sounds like your brand? Well, one tool has made this its core mission. And that tool is Jasper. What really sets it apart is the brand voice feature. You can actually feed it your existing content, and it learns your unique style. So the bottom line is, it doesn't just rewrite, it rewrites in your voice. This makes it the undisputed king for marketing teams and agencies that have to stay on brand no matter what. But what if you don't want a specialized tool? What if you want raw power and total control? This category is for the power users, the people who are comfortable crafting their own instructions and want a tool that can do, well, literally anything. And here we have the titans, ChatGPT and Claude. ChatGPT is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. With the right prompt, it can perform any rewriting task you can possibly imagine. Claude, though, has a really unique strength: its massive context window. This means it can handle incredibly long documents, think reports or white papers, and rewrite them with nuance without forgetting what it was talking about from page 1 to page 50. So we have these incredibly powerful tools, but with great power, well, it comes with the need for great responsibility. In our final section, let's talk about the human element and how to use this technology both ethically and effectively. This quote from a senior content strategist just says it all. You can obsess over tone and style and all that, but if the AI changes the core meaning of your message, it has sailed. You always have to check that the rewritten text is still factually accurate and true to what you originally intended to say. So what are the rules of the road for using these tools well? First, remember to keep yourself in the driver's seat. Use AI to support your thinking, not replace it. The real magic happens when you add your own unique value, your personal stories, your expertise. That's something an AI can't replicate. Always inject your own voice, vary your sentence structures, and please never, ever just copy and paste. Treat the AI's output as rough notes or a first draft, not the final product. And finally, be transparent about its use when it's appropriate for your context. And what about that big question? Will Google penalize you? Well, the answer is no. Not if you do it right. Google's official stance is super clear. They care about quality and helpfulness, not the method of production. Low-quality, spammy content gets penalized whether it was written by a human or an AI. The goal is always to create value for the reader. And that brings us to our final thought. You now have a map to this new world of AI-assisted writing. The tools are here, and they're more powerful than ever. So the only question left to ask yourself is this: what role will AI play in your creative process? Is it going to be an assistant, a partner, or a replacement? The choice is yours.